Hey everyone, so I'm here with Leigh today from the Bug Out, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be walking the route that we're going to be doing on the Prepping and Bug Out course, which is in April this year. So anyone that's interested, we're going to be covering lots of subjects, topics relevant to preparing and for bugging out, and we're going to be starting from here. So if you have a look over here, we're at the Bug Out, which is in Bilfwells, which is Leigh's place. Awesome place. You've got camping pods, you've got camping areas, you've got the Bug Out shop here, lots of good stuff. So it's a great resource for all your bugging out needs. Leigh, any words to say about that?
No, just glad to see you, Tom, here. I'm going to check this course out, bit of a recce, and yeah, see what it's all about. Yeah,
so let's get going, guys, and we're going to walk you through the route as we go. And you know, just to show you, we're in a beautiful piece of woodland here, and we're going to show you the route as we go. Obviously straight into a hill, which is always a bit of a bonus. Watching out for the vehicles. Let's go. So we just made our way up the road there. It's a little bit of a hill coming up to this point, and then we're going to be going through this gate here, through this mini farmyard, and then we're making our way from this point onwards. It's all on tracks, which is good. So it's only the first sort of less than a K that's on the road, then it's all tracks from here. So let's keep going, eh? Cheers, mate. Okay, so we're now moving through some slightly different terrain, a bit wetter underfoot, as you can probably hear, a bit squelchy, but some nice woodland here. So a bit of varied terrain, and you know, when we're doing a course, we'll talk through pros and cons about moving through those different types of terrains, and you know, how it's going to help you, how it could potentially hinder you. And next thing we've got is moving across some fields, and then you can probably just about see in the distance there, up there's a farmyard. And you know what effects making contact with other humans, other people, can be in a context of a bug out scenario, how that could potentially help you or could be a problem. So you know, quite interesting stuff. It's not just going for a walk in the woods, it's thinking about the knock-on effects, connotations of things that you're going to come across, and the different kinds of terrains you're going to cover. So we just walked up a bit of a hill there, blew out a few cobwebs down here, or up from there by there. So yeah, a bit of a opened up the legs a little bit, and then we're going to walk through this farmyard now. We have got permission to go through here. It's like a public byway, goes through here anyway, and yeah, you can definitely smell we're in the country now.
Silage, that is right. Silage.
Yeah, definitely a countryside smell, that be. And yeah, so again, in a bug out scenario, would you want to walk through habitation like this? Sort of thing we'll discuss while we're on the course. There's definite, you know, pros and cons to doing something like that, depending on the scenario and where you are in the world. We just made our way from this track here then, and we're starting to climb uphill now, and we're moving up this quite fairly decent sized feature in front of us. So how's the correct pronunciation of this, Leigh?
Mulberry.
Okay, we're walking up Mulberry, and if you have a look at what's in front of us, so where we want to get to is this kind of peak bit here. You've got two options. You've got the track that moves off that way, or you've got the track that moves off that way. So the one to the left is far steeper, the one to the right is more graduated, so it's not steep. And funny enough, the one that looks more obvious here, that left hand track, is not marked on a 1 of 50,000 map, which is quite interesting, isn't it? So for those people that will be navigating on the course, you know, it'll be your option, and you've got to think about your group as well, who's capable, who's maybe not quite as fit as some of the others, and it's down to you to make your own route selection based on the scenario, like I say, the fitness of your group and your own map reading, really. So quite interesting, yeah, Leigh?
Yeah, like I said, on the map, because it's not shown, you can easily make a mistake following the wrong path.
Yeah,
because that was more obvious, you think, oh, that must be the path that's on the map.
Yeah,
but if you orientate your map to ground properly, you shouldn't really make that mistake.
Yeah, bang on. So good point there from Leigh. You know, on a 1 of 25,000 map, it might be marked, I don't know, because I've not got one of those with me. I've got 1 of 50, but yeah, only the one leading off to the right is marked. So we're gonna walk up one and walk down the other, just to recce both of them. As the saying goes, time spent in recce is seldom wasted. Right, let's do it. And you can probably hear that wind blowing now, which is perfect, just as we're starting to get up on a higher feature, eh? And a little bit of rain too. Perfect Welsh weather. Right then, so we're now contouring around this feature. We've come up a bit of a steepish bit, but then we're contouring around now, which is a good way to approach a feature. Also, we're staying off the high ground. So if you were in a hostile scenario, that's something you definitely want to be doing. So you don't want to be skylining as you're moving along. So there's always considerations like that when you're in some sort of bug out scenario. So if you were in an area that wasn't friendly to you and your people, you got to think about these things. And this is some of the stuff we'll be talking about on the course. But as we're moving along here, some nice views as well. So yeah, and no doubt, well, hopefully it won't be too misty or whatever when we do the course, and we'll enjoy these views as we're moving up to our bug out location. So onwards and upwards, carrying on. So we've just walked up the feature back there, probably tell I'm breathing a little bit. And what we've got to now, this area here is sparsely wooded area. This is going to be the overnight location, so the safe area that's been pre-recce'd, so that on the actual bug out, this is where you're going to come to. So it's not perfect, and you know, quite often in a scenario like that, you're not going to have a perfect location. You just got to deal with what you've got. But what you have got is a little bit of cover from view. Not perfect, but you've got a little bit of cover from view. You've also got a handful of small trees to help you rig up your bashers, shelters, etc. So this is where we're going to actually bug out to and do an overnight stop. I'm not going to give everything away, but that's going to be part of the scenario. Anything to add, Leigh?
Well, when we come to the course in a few months' time, there's going to be a bit more cover on the trees as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
And it'll be drier underfoot, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, but like I say, you know, in a real life scenario, you're probably going to have to deal with what you got. Yeah. You're not going to be able to pick a perfect camping spot with a nice view, you know, lots of cover and all that sort of thing. You're going to have to deal with what you got, and as long as you survive and make it back to safety, that's the prime thing that you've got to do. That's you know, your aim. So yeah, this is going to be your overnight spot. So home sweet home round here, eh? And actually some nice views of the hills looking out that way once you get out to the edges and stuff. And there is a water source nearby. There's not one right here, but there's one nearby that we can actually you know, practice water collection and filtration and that sort of thing from. So yeah, looking forward to it. So we're just getting to the top of this feature now then, it's above the overnight location. So this is called Mulberry, and here's the trig point there. So 441 metres above sea level. So this is the highest point around here. The views aren't brilliant today because it's kind of misty, eh? Over to our left as we're facing it, you've got just there is a little water source. Obviously that's standing water, so it's not ideal, but you know, needs must in a survival situation. If you were needing that water, you know, you could actually use it. You'd obviously have to treat it, so you'll have to boil it, filter it, all that good stuff. That's there, if you need it. So it's the highest point around. You may or may not be coming up to this point on the course, just depending on the scenario and the fitness of your group, etc. Leave that as a little surprise. Mega. Right then, so that's us just coming to the end of the walk now. We've just done a complete loop, so we've done the route there and the route back, and we're now back at the bug out. So how long did that take us, Leigh? Just over 2 hours. Yeah. Okay, so not too bad. We didn't hang around, but we didn't also race, you know, we didn't like tab it out as such. But yeah, so a good leg stretch. You won't be doing that entire route on one day. You'll only be doing it on, you know, over 2 days. So route out on one day, route back the next day. But just goes to show you, you know, it's not particularly hard route. It's only 2 hours, all, you know, the whole way round. We're not carrying, you know, full massive rucksacks, but we're both carrying a day sack with some emergency kit in. When you guys are doing it, you're going to be carrying your overnight bags. So just have a think about what you need, what's essential. Don't carry loads of garbage. What you want to be thinking about is what you need in an emergency, but obviously enough to survive and keep relatively comfortable. So look forward to seeing you soon on that bug out course, and also here at the bug out, we're going to be running survival courses, and we've got a 2-day navigation weekend as well. So that's another great one to learn some, you know, new skills that's very relevant to what we're talking about here. So anything to say, Lee?
Just really on a navigation course, I think it's one of the most important courses to go on. Navigation, there's nothing worse than getting lost, especially out in the wilderness.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, if you can get on that, it'll be well worth your while, I think.
Yeah. And you know, the reliance of technology nowadays, basic navigation, which is what we're going to be doing using a map and a compass, is pretty much a dying art. So yeah, coming along on that, and you know, learn some skills from, without sounding too big-headed, someone that's been doing it for all their life pretty much, in all sorts of environments. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys on some courses this year, and as always, stay prepared.